A very good morning to all of you. Today it's the 15th of November, right? 2020. It's a Sunday, so I thought it is appropriate to talk something on leadership. One of the leadership series that I've come across lately was the interview by this one of the newsletter with the CEO of Microsoft. Interestingly, the topic that was asked to him, by the way, his name is Satya Nadella, right? So, and of course, the question that was asked to him is basically, he being the CEO of one of the largest companies in the world, and constantly, or rather, when he took over a couple of years ago, the very first thing that he needs to do is to make changes, because Microsoft has become so big, and in a sense, it has become a bit conservative in a sense and bureaucrat. So when he came in, one of his biggest tasks is basically to make the changes to make it more contemporary, more up to date, and more, in tune with the younger generation. So when he was asked, all right, by the way, the company that called him up, that did the interview was by Volkswagen CEO Herbert Diess. All right, so basically they asked him a few questions really regards to how he did the major turnaround at Microsoft in the last couple of years. And speaking from Mr. Nadella's experience, he actually explained how his company is able to repair a broken organizational culture. All right, and when that was done, all right, basically what happened was the company share price of Microsoft, all right, has skyrocketed. Now, so this is the I just want to pick up a few points here. And he specifically mentioned, it was a very short interview, not more than 20 minutes, but he specifically mentioned that you need not only the conventional or traditional leadership, but he specifically mentioned emotional, intelligent leadership. And to do that, he basically highlighted a few points here. Right? The first point that he mentioned, right, is number one, don't be a know-it-all. Don't be a know-it-all. K-N-O-W. Don't be a know-it-all. Instead, be a learn-it-all. L-E-A-R-N. So he began explaining the points from the days of the late 1990s when Microsoft, even by the late 1990s, not even in the 2000, not even in the millennium, they have already actually achieved the status of being the world's most valuable company, right? But once you reach the top, all right, people say, right, to reach, yeah, is easy, but to maintain that, right, it is something different. It is almost impossible, right, if we are not careful. So people walk around, in fact, in the company, right, thinking that they are already have achieved, and they are actually, in his very words, it's like God's gift to mankind. And fortunately or unfortunately, all right, when you have that kind of thinking, you are basically in comfort zone. And the only way is, all right, you will drop. Now, so, and one of his most fundamental, important role is how to make them from I know everything kind of attitude to I still need to learn it. All right, it all. So he says that there are two types of people that you can have, all right, in terms of capability. There's one kind who see themselves as experts. All right, when you say you're an expert, it means, hey, I know it all. And the other kind of people, right, where they think less of themselves in terms of capability, but this is someone who, through learning and practice and hard work, and they continue to keep improving. So there is a need, all right, for us to know, right, from being know-it-all, right, to learn it all. And we need to make the case, for example, when there are customer complaints, right, with regards to anything at all that you do or your product, right, you need to learn how to listen, all right, and then how do you come together to work as a company. So if you look at today, right, a lot of people call themselves guru, right, and especially scaring during this COVID-19, especially the MCO period from March until from March onwards until now, a lot of them call themselves master trainers, right? They're master in training, they're master in this and that, and they stamp their authority. But when you view yourself through that lens, something funny happens. When you call yourself a master trainer, I'm already a master, a sifu. You actually, psychologically, you actually stop learning. So he actually further explains that, right? His friends once put it, in such a way that you would assume that you have reached your fullest potential, and your thirst for knowledge becomes quenched. You understand what I'm saying? Now, in order for you to reach your fullest potential, okay, means there is a thirst for knowledge, and the thirst for knowledge must be quenched. So, but the problem is that, in contrast, when you pursue a mindset of growth, right, there must be continuous learning. You must continue to seek to learn, right, and you must not be afraid to try new things. Yes, in certain companies where you work, all right, you actually, especially companies that are family owned, where it is very traditional and conservative, a lot of things that you are not able to make certain decisions, and you need to refer to them. But you need to keep trying. You need to keep trying new things, look at things from different perspectives. And yes, along the way, you may make mistakes, but these are all the learning. These are all the opportunities for you to learn. And from that, you will keep growing, and you will not come to a stage where, hey, I know it all, or in the sense that you know it all, not in terms of experience or knowledge or anything, but you know it all because, in the kind of environment that you are in, it won't change because the owners, the directors, the shareholders are like that, So that is point number one, all right? Changing from know it all to learn it all. Now, the next one, you have to be clear. You must bring about clarity. As a leader, you cannot afford to bring about confusion. Now, have you met, people, all right, who are so proud, of their work, of, being able to lead their team, But when you look at the team, actually, you look at the team, they lack purpose and cohesion, all right? So, and Mr. Nadella actually mentioned, even if the leaders are very smart, and if they come in and create confusion, that's not leadership. Interesting. And he says, if you are a leader who can come into a situation that is ambiguous means very subjective, uncertain, all right? But if you are able to simplify it, you bring clarity. Now, that is clarity. That is leadership. So now, if I suppose most of you are in certain leadership roles, right? If you are leading a team, there are a couple of questions you need to ask yourself. When your team comes in for a meeting, all right, do they know the purpose of the meeting? Or even when they are walking or they are logging into the meeting, they are still wondering, why are they meeting? Secondly, when you assign roles, on projects, does your everyone in your team understand the scope of their role, their individual role? Yes, there is a corporate role overall, but individually, or would they be surprised, when you assign it to them all of a sudden, and they even fail to deliver on your expectation? Now, when running into obstacles, right, can the team come to agreement on problems that need to be solved, and in which order, right? Or do the same problem hinder progress again and again? Now, these are some of the questions that as leaders, right, you need to ask, because all this sounds very familiar to you, right? All right. And so the focus here is to bring clarity to your team. Set expectation. When you set expectation, basically you are bringing clarity, and this will allow you to work together, all right, instead of breaking up and across one another. So that is the thing. You need to bring clarity and not confusion. So that's the second point. Now, the third one, as a leader, you need to create energy. Interesting. Mr. Nadella says he emphasizes on the need, right, for leaders, right, to learn how, or there's a need for the leader to energize the team. Of course, this energy that he's talking about is more than just surface enthusiasm. Surface enthusiasm, right? Oh, when you go, you support a football team or you support a sport, yeah. But after that, you just go back and But that is just on the surface, right? Or it is just lip service. Oh, my team is great. I manage my team well. We are energetic, very energetic. No, that is not energy. All right. So if the true energy here is bringing all people together across different functions. The true energy that we're talking about is when you're able to bring people from different functions, different divisions, different departments, different sections, coming together. Now, that is leadership at its best. And because this kind of coming together unites a team, and that creates chemistry. You can have a team of A players, but if they don't, team A, the top, and they don't work well together, you'll not achieve anything, because there are too many heads. Everybody, think they are smart, so they want to go their own way. So they will struggle to reach their milestone on time. Therefore, sometimes, or most of the times, the products that they have, the service that they give is not inspiring at all. And in contrast, a team with less talent, but they have the chemistry, they can work together. This is where they can achieve great things. In other words, like in the words of Aristotle, he says they become a whole, W-H-O-L-E, that is greater than the sum of its part. So you need to create that energy. You need to create that energy where they can come together, different people with different talents, and when they come together, they create this synergy and able to work together. That's where you see the energy, And the last one that he mentioned was, which I find it very true, 2 words: no excuses. The fourth point here is no excuses. There's an emphasis on the need for leaders to find a way to manage the constraint in a way to achieve their goals. Now, leaders don't wait for perfect weather to perform, right? If you wait for no rain, no sun, no flood, no problem, no COVID, it's too late, right? So you see, according to Nadella, the world is constrained, and leaders will need to figure out. Leaders, listen to this. You need to learn how to figure out. This kind of constraint is always there. This kind of challenges is always there. But how are you going to unconstrain yourself in order to drive success? Okay, so no excuses. All right, whether high or low, good or bad, COVID-19 or COVID-20, doesn't matter. All right, so to be an effective leader, number one, don't be a know-it-all. Be a learn-it-all. Number two, bring clarity, not confusion. The third one, create energy. And the fourth one, no excuses. So true leaders, all right, you measure success first by looking at yourself in the mirror, okay, as to how well you are doing these things, instead of putting your blame, okay, on your team, or on your colleagues, or on the company, or on the bosses, on the shareholders, and the market, so every time you blame somebody, what happens is that you blame somebody. One, you blame God, and three fingers, you're pointing it back to yourself, right? So this is the thing that I always use, right? But here the thing is that look into the mirror, okay, and you need to do a lot of self-evaluation, all right? So, and I believe that these are some of the key areas that even as and CEO of such a big company like Microsoft, all right, and he has actually simplified into these 4 points, all right, and I hope that basically that these 4 points will be able to help you. And as today is a Sunday, take a bit of time to think about it, reflect on it, and if you can act on it, that would be great. All right. So once again, stay blessed, stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy.